Awesome. So Carrie, we'll go ahead and get started. Darrin, we are so excited for you, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We just got a couple questions for you.
Awesome. Darrin, I'm so pumped that you worked with us and that you are at your new job, going to be starting soon. I want to ask you, where were you before you decided to join the program and work with us?
You mean like in professional space or mind space or where?
Or both?
I was unemployed, and quite honestly, I was not doing well in terms of being in the right mind space for looking for a job. I'd been, unemployed for almost 6 months, and the job search would kind of come in waves, where you get some momentum behind you and things are looking good, and then everything's like no, 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 and then there's another wave that comes up, and then no, 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 and I think I was on the third one of that. And that last one had to really hurt. Part of it was we as a family had talked about moving to Sweden at one point. And so they had actually flown me over to Stockholm to interview with them, which had, at least in my head, implied that they were very interested in it. It turned out to be a no. Which was really hard for all of us because we had started to think about what life would be like there. And so, you're flying high and then someone just takes that gun and down you go. And so that's where I was. I was kind of down in this really low spot when I came to the program, and, I actually had some interaction with Tim, I think, early on, and had decided not to proceed at that point. And so it took me a couple times to beat my head against the wall before I came back.
Okay. So it seems like you tried it on your own a few times, got knocked down a few times, literally across the world,
Yes.
and decided, okay, I need some help. So how exactly, in your words, would you say that?
What changed? First, I just have a quick question for you, Darrin, because I know there's been some people who, even Steven, Steven, who you previously met, who got that job, he was one too, who followed up a couple months later. I mean, what was it, because I know we talked, and was it just more time, or was it, what made you say, hey man, let's do this now?
Yeah.
I've been through, programs like not quite the same as this before, but, I've been through coaching programs before. And so your general process is the same. But I think the challenge for me and what I really came to realize is at that time, and with the energy I had, I could not do it on my own. And so for me, it was kind of acknowledging that I couldn't do it on my own. And, Tim, you have an energy, Tim, for one thing.
Appreciate that, man. Well, I have to some days, because guess what? People, people watch this and they're like, they get down. They get an offer comes back. It's lower than they expected. They follow up with people. People are saying they're going to give them an offer. Like, I know we talk about being positive until I can't think of the word right now. Not maybe blue in the face would be a simple, the middle school term, but it's tough, man. So you have to stay positive, and you have to show up 110%, because again, if we didn't share this yet, but you went from, a project manager to kind of a higher level product manager now. And, it's not easy. These are competitive roles, right? And you got a good increase as well. So
yeah.
And I appreciate it. Anything I can do to motivate you, man. Now you got a smile on your face and things are good, and you put in definitely a bunch of hard work.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the results, we went from 6 months of unemployment, a lot of ups and downs, and look at you now, more responsibility, 30K more, right? So that's awesome. And a company that you feel like you can spend a lot of time in and really invest in, which I know is something that you're really looking for, right?
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The interviews with the company were different than most interviews that I've had in the past. They focused very heavily on the EQ side of things. They're in a situation where they have a parent company that is an old broadcasting style culture, and they are a technology company in Seattle, and those things are very different. And so they're really focused on people that can come in and support a cultural component. And that plays very well with, I think, the strengths that I have.
That's awesome. So Darrin, how did we help you, in your words, and what did you find the most valuable part of this program for you?
Yeah, I think there were two things. First, I think, like I was talking about earlier, just kind of acknowledging that it was something I couldn't do on my own. When there are steps, when there are tasks to do, you can focus on doing the tasks and not think about why I'm not getting things. So there was sometimes just being able to focus on some work is helpful to distract you, and that work is what actually propels you to the next step. So I think that was, the primary help. I think the second one is the community. I probably didn't leverage that as much as I could have, but I do think it is a very valuable component.
Awesome. So, a lot of times people who are kind of debating, whether or not should I invest in myself? This is kind of a high ticket item, going through a tough time, whether unemployed or underemployed. What advice would you have for someone who might be watching a video like this and they're trying to decide whether or not to invest in this? What advice would you have for someone who's considering working with us?
I would say don't wait too long to find help. If you're considering help, don't wait too long. If you wait too long, you have the energy to get started and to break through that wall. You require much more energy to do that than it would be if you started earlier. So if you don't wait too long and you actually pull a trigger early enough, you still have some energy, you still have some momentum behind you, and some of that early work would be much easier for them to accomplish.
And for people to, we'll end on this too, for people who are going to watch this, much far into the future, this is the COVID-19 thing, okay? Or whatever it's called, the COVID situation, the COVID 2020. You're literally hired in the midst of it when 30 million people have been unemployed. You still got an upward mobility move. You still got, a significant increase as well. So, and it still happened right at the 90-day mark. Good job, Darrin. You got it in right before then. So it's just attested to you that, hey, whether or not, it's always going to be difficult to get that next move regardless of what's going on. And congratulations, man. You put in the work. You let us know. You kept us updated. We made sure you were prepared for everything. We truly, me and Kara, definitely wish you the best luck in this new role. And
we're so happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.